This is James Spencer, and this course is London College of Music's History of Film Composers. Every week we will be studying a different composer. This week we will be looking at Harold Arlen. So let's get started. Harold Arlen was born Hyman Arluck, February 15th, 1905, in Buffalo, New York. And he would die April 23rd, 1986, at the age of 81 in New York City. He is mostly known as a composer of the Great American Songbook, meaning he mostly is known for songwriting, okay? And he wrote over 500 famous hits in his lifetime. But he is important as a film composer because there's two major films that he wrote scores for, and one of them is considered the #1 movie of all time, and that was The Wizard of Oz, the musical The Wizard of Oz, which he wrote the music for with lyrics by E.Y. Harburg. Okay, so 1939, Wizard of Oz, and later on, for Judy Garland in 1955, he's going to write the music for A Star is Born. Of course, through his lifetime, a lot of his songs that he wrote will be featured in other movies as well, of course. Okay, so let's get to work a little bit of studying about him. So, again, I said that Arlen was born in Buffalo, New York, and he was the child of a Jewish cantor, and he was actually a twin, but his brother died the next day. So his twin brother didn't survive. He learned the piano in his youth and also played in local bands around town as a pianist. And then he moved to New York in his early 20s, and he accompanied a lot of the vaudeville shows of the time, and that's where he changed his name from Hyman Arluck to Harold Arlen, which he would use for the rest of his life. And he appeared also as a band vocalist. He was a very good singer, and he worked with the Buffalodians. He worked with Red Nichols, Joe Venuti, Eddie Duchin, and also sung a lot of his original compositions and songs he wrote. In 1929, Arlen wrote the song Get Happy, with lyrics by Ted Koehler. Of course, that is going to be used in the movie Summer Stock, sung by Judy Garland, and she, of course, would make that a hit in many years later. During the 20s, Arlen appeared writing shows for the Cotton Club in Harlem, and he also started writing songs for Broadway. One of his most important hits is Stormy Weather, which we will later, of course, will be made famous by Lena Horne, as well as many other singers would sing that song. Arlen, overall, in his musical styling, was very much influenced by the music of the synagogue, Jewish music, as well as the blues. And we will find a lot of his songs are very bluesy, or even have blues in the title. For example, Blues in the Night was a big hit for him in the 40s. So I want you to associate Arlen's music overall with having sort of a bluesy character to a majority of his music. Later on, like we said, the big song from the, A Star is Born for Judy Garland was The Man That Got Away, also a very bluesy type tune. Okay, so let's continue on. He would write a lot of famous, songs through his career. Okay, so in the mid-30s, Arlen gets married, and he moves to Hollywood and works with Yip Harburg for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's Wizard of Oz, and of course writes all the famous songs from that. The most famous song probably of all time, Over the Rainbow, of course. And he goes on to then write songs for a lot of other famous MGM artists. He does, he writes a song, Down with Love, that was in the 37 Broadway show Hooray for What. He wrote Lydia, the Tattoo Lady, for the Groucho Marx team, He wrote Happiness is a Thing Called Joe for Ethel Waters that will be used in the 1943 movie Cabin in the Sky. And this is kind of interesting too. He was actually a roommate of Ray Bolger, who played the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. So they were very good lifelong friends. Also, Harold Arlen ends up working with the most famous lyricist of its day, Johnny Mercer, one of my favorite lyricists personally. And, you know, they write together Blues in the Night, Out of This World, That Old Black Magic, Accentuate the Positive, Any Place I Hang My Hat Is Home, Come Rain or Shine, One for My Baby, One for the Road, which would, of course, become one of Frank Sinatra's big hits. So, wow, a lot of songs, you know, I mean, he's pretty prolific. And, of course, we should associate Harold Arlen with Judy Garland, because of The Wizard of Oz and later, of course, Star is Born. And Judy really, when she made her comeback with The Star is Born, only wanted to, you know, one composer to write for her, and that was Harold Arlen. So that's saying a lot about him. Okay, so that's pretty much it on Harold Arlen that you need to know. Again, the two main movies, Wizard of Oz and A Star is Born. You should get to know some of his most famous songs. Arlen died of cancer at age 81 in his Manhattan apartment. So that's pretty much all you really need to know on Harold Arlen. So thanks for joining me, and we'll get together next week. Take care.